to you're welcome to Aruoma
I'm
Style
currently
Show.
watching Adedoyi's
Yeah,
interview with Joy Okan, and she was
please
talking
know
about
where to
deconstruction from
subscribe,
Christianity. And she
where
said
to
something that
like,
I found
where
really,
to
really
comment.
valuable. She
Comment
talked
Jesus
about
Christ is
how
Lord on the
she
comment
moved from
section.
Redeemed Church to
Comment Jesus
Celestial
Christ is
Church.
Lord on the comment
And
section.
even though she found the
And
Celestial Church really comfortable during lockdown, she eventually had a lot of time where she randomly found this Facebook group about Pan-Africanism, and then she joined, and that was when she began to ask the tough questions. And one of the things she said was she couldn't believe what happened during slavery and stuff like that. And I found that really, really interesting because I often tell people that one of the reasons why our people are very docile, one of the reasons why we don't have a backbone, we are followers, we don't ask questions, we don't question, and this has nothing to do with the religion you belong to. Okay, it has nothing to do with that. It has to do with why do you believe what you believe? Because most of us were indoctrinated in our religions right from when we were born. We didn't have any chance to ask questions. And the truth is, in our educational system, history is not something that we teach correctly. So, for example, when I was in secondary school, I also did history, and the version of history I did, it was okay, but it wasn't as much as I got to know eventually when I left the country. And even up until recently, I didn't know that we had there were situations of people being eaten, babies being fed to crocodiles and things like that, you know. It was even a shock for me to discover that someone such as Emmett Till, who was killed because he was waving or at a white woman, was killed in 1955. And then you now talk about the fact that we got our independence 1960, or is it the fact that I just realized that up until 2009 or so, they were still selling slaves in somewhere such as Mississippi, or 2000. You know, you just said that there are so many things that we do not know. And I've always said on my channel that one of the reasons why we have a self-esteem issue is because we were raised not because you're a Christian or whatever it is, but the fact that there was this poster of a white man being circulated around as our Lord and Savior. And then you would see that the moment it's already ingrained in your brain that the person coming to save you doesn't look like you, there is already that image of this person is superior to me. And that's why for many of us still, we have to travel out to realize that, oh, okay, we watch nice things on TV, but they still had their own ghetto zones, you know, they still had their own poverty, they still had their own things that were not shown on TV. And as much as we have a long way to go, I really think that history is something that's going to help us as a nation. Let me know what you think. I'm currently watching.
Whites purposely made Eshu to be the Satan. They painted we Africans like a bunch of savages, underdeveloped, uncivilized set of people, and they made it seem like the whites came to save us from ourselves. The whites are that smart. I give them kudos for that. And they did what they could to save their race. A recent research now by scientists, they made us know that the Ifa system is what was used to develop the computer system, the binary system.
Hello everyone, my name is Aruoma Fakorede Adedoyin. My philosophy is be good. Those that are meant to cry, make them laugh. Those that are meant to laugh, please do not make them cry.
In this society, and not just live in it, but you've made a conscious decision to thrive in it. But I've always wondered right from the bat, has this been something you've always wanted to do? How did you get into being an Ifa and Esu priestess?
So
is it Esu or Eshu?
Eshu. Or you can also say Esu.
Okay.
That's the accent for the Oyo, Ibadan, Shun people.
But
so
what would
Eshu,
you prefer? What would you prefer?
Eshu is nice. Eshu.
Okay,
yes.
Eshu then.
Okay,
Eshu,
thanks.
Yes, thank you.
So looking at my journey, I never imagined that I would be an Ifa priestess, because I used to be a Christian. You know, even though I come from a family, from both sides of the family, my mother's side of the family, my father's side of the family, I come from a very traditional family. My mom is a princess. So an inner side of the family, they're into Egungun worship and Olokun worship. And in my mother's part of the family, they also have a long line of Ifa priestesses. And from my father's side of the family, all of them, Ifa priestesses. Ifa priestesses, priests.
Yeah, because I saw someone, when I did the research, I saw Fanny Adedoyin. Who was that? Fanny. Yeah.
That Fanny is not one of my family members.
Okay.
It could be another Adedoyin's
Okay, cool.
family. My dad's name, Famakinde.
Famakinde.
Yes.
Oh, beautiful.
Thank you. So even though coming from this background of family, I grew up to be a Christian because my mom is a Christian. She also grew up to be a Christian, even though coming from that kind of background. So same with my dad. My dad grew up as a traditionalist, but he's a kind of person that is very liberal. Even though he's a traditionalist, he's into Christianity, he's into Islam, he doesn't discriminate, and he brought us up like that. But I chose my path at a young age as a Christian, and I was a very strong Christian. I was a chorister.
You were?
Yes, I used to represent my parish for Bible competitions. I was a prayer warrior, you know. I even did the workers in training because I used to go to Redeem. Then from Redeem, I switched down to the Celestial Church, you know, because even though I was a Christian, I felt as if something was missing, you know. I could connect.
Yeah.
But I could not really connect.
What were the things you could connect with in Christianity?
I could connect with the ways of worship, the songs.
Okay.
Like I connect to beautiful melodies. Like when someone is singing, even if I don't understand your language, if it's something I connect with, I'll connect with it, even if I don't understand. So that is something I really value about Christianity. Their ways of worship.
Yes.
They have beautiful songs.
So the melody
yes,
is it not even the words, the lyrics of the song, but like the melody of it.
The melody.
Yeah.
Especially, and you know, Redeem, they are known for this. Like they have very good musicians. You know? And the period I really connected with during the times of worship is anytime they were singing in my language, the Yoruba language.
Yeah.
You know, this deep praises.
Yeah.
You know, I really connect with it.
But how about the teachings itself?
The teaching is nice because right from like growing up, you know, this is what we have been programmed. They've taught us all these things. Even while in the secondary school, we did the CRK, Christian Religious Studies. So they've taught us all these things. Growing up, my sister used to take me to the Christ Embassy Church. We had our children's section.
Yeah.
They taught us all these things. So going to Redeem, you know, and choosing my path, I didn't really hear anything new aside from what we've always been hearing, you know, growing up, you know, but just the music.
But growing up with you know, traditional worship in the background as part of your family and being directly raised as a Christian household, what were your initial thoughts about traditionalism?
Okay, while growing up, I didn't see tradition as bad, and I didn't see it as something to fear, you know, because my dad, like I said, is very traditional. Even though he was not really into any religion, was just there, you know. But he always, you know, he makes sure that anything they do, you know, in our hometown, we always participated in it. And my mom too, coming from a royal background, we had to go to the palace a lot, you know, and so on and so forth. But then being an adult, that is, you know, being an adult, my perspective, you know, they started to change as an adult. Then going to church during my workers in training, then they told us then if there's any traditional festival and your money is there, you'll be going to hell. You could not, because you know what, this workers in training that we did, it was like 3 months or so. We had our own book, like a manual for the section, the duration of the class, of the training. Thank you. So they told us all these things, you know, that, you know, let's say you have a traditional event or something, and they say, bring some money, your money must not be there, you shouldn't attend, idols, and so on and so forth. So I began to change a bit, even at home too. You know, sometimes I don't want to go to my hometown, I don't want to relate, you know, and if I'm forced to go, I tend to stay much more in my room, you know. I don't really want to mix with the idol worshippers, you know, like, because I wanted to be a good Christian and I didn't want to go to hell, you know, because they really hammered it into our heads that hell
Heaven was the goal. And if you didn't go to heaven, the next option was hell.
And hell is
I didn't want to burn.
Hell is this eternal place of anguish and suffering.
And I did not want to burn. So and like I said, my family were very liberal. Nobody's going to force you. Do you want to be? If you want to be a Muslim, you are free. In fact, say you don't believe in anything, you are free to do so. So nobody questioned my decision at home. I became a very serious Christian, a bit extreme at some point, I would say.
But looking back now, how do you balance the fact that you were okay with existing across multiple faiths? Maybe one is inspired by your decision, or both of them inspired by your family, of course. Then when you go deeper into one, that one started telling you that this other part of your family, or this other belief system that's also exists in your family from time immemorial, is bad. Did it alter the way you saw certain family members?
No.
Okay.
But I would say it altered the way I related to some family functions. So, okay, let's take for example. Like I said, my mom is from a royal family. So there's this festival we do in my town, Omo-Ekiti. It's in Ekiti State. We call it Odun Ijeshu. This is the New Yam Festival. Odun Ijeshu. Ishu means yam.
Okay, Odun Ijeshu.
Yes, so it's like the New Yam Festival. Thank you. So it's like the New Yam Festival. And my uncle is the king. So now what the event is about is that the king and his family would be the first set of people to eat out of the first harvest of the yam. Then we go around the town, we do some rites. So growing up, because my dad used to take us to our hometown a lot, so I used to follow the crowds with my other cousins. So when I started being so deep into Christianity, I stopped following them. In fact, there's this time that we need to kneel down in front of the king. We'll kneel down, then we'll put some yam, fried bean cake, akara, puts it in our palm, then we eat it. He prays for us.
I refused to bless the land.
Yes, but I didn't. I stopped eating it because to me then it was the food of the idols, and they told us not to mix with the unbelievers. Not just unbelievers. We're talking about, like they used to say, idol worshippers. So they told us these things. Don't partake in their festivities, not to even talk of eating their food. This food, like they told us, they've dedicated it to their gods that they used to say they cannot talk, cannot do. So the moment you eat out of it, you have sinned against God, and at that moment, if anything happens and you die, you would be going to hell. So I do not want to go to hellfire. So I stopped eating stuff like that. Nobody questioned me because I didn't really even show it. But all I know is that I started preaching around, telling my dad that you need to change some of all this, your ways. Old God, I was preaching. I said, old God tight, because it was just neutral.
And Christianity encourages evangelism.
Yes, I was part of the evangelism team too. Yes, so I was going around. There was even a time I fasted for like 21 days. That was even when I developed my HOSA.
21 days.
I fasted for
you were really Christ-like then.
Yes, I was really deep into it though. I was very deep into it. I used to pray a lot. What? The only thing I could not do was speak in tongues. And I tried to speak in tongues. If I did pray, I prayed. I remember my friend Lizzie, if she's watching, she'll remember this, because there was time we went to the camp. They were saying, if you cannot speak in tongues, come out, let's pray to be spirit-filled. She too, she could not speak in tongues. I said, let's go. Maybe today is our day. In fact, they prayed with, as in, people were falling. We did not fall. We could not speak. I said, what's going on? Are we not spirit-filled? Is this Holy Spirit not in us? So Christianity, I did it like, because I'm a kind of person, anything I do, I like to do it well. So maybe that's why, because I was really into it. I was really into it.
This thing you just said, we generally, or rather I believe that the way you do one thing is the way you do everything else.
Yes.
So if you take, for example, you're at the gym, you go super hard, you give it your best. If we see you in another thing,
you do it well too.
You do it with the same intensity, the same focus. So when you left So when you left, what made you leave Redeemed and go to Celestial? Because I grew up in Celestial. I was born into Celestial. In
Oh
Port
wow,
Harcourt.
that's nice. It's a good church.
Yeah, it's beautiful. In Port Harcourt, to grow up in Celestial, baptized in Celestial. I did all of it. I sang all the songs.
Nice.
Dalo, da, be re.
They have beautiful songs.
Yes, no, I did all of that. So Celestial was also the first time I came in contact with a ton of Yoruba people because we had a ton in church. So it was my, apart from me being the first, the start of my faith, it was also my first window into diversity
Yes.
on that scale. So with what made you leave to Celestial?
You, just you, building your app on base 4.
I'll say a bit about where I left to Celestial, the Redeemed Church.
Okay.
This church now that I left to, that I went to Celestial, based on our training in my former church, they made us know that they were also idol worshippers. Yes, white garment churches. Yes.
Yeah, but we access. I feel like Celestial, they access God through specific rituals.
But some other sects of churches, they don't believe like the white garment churches. They believe they're like undercover traditionalists, like that mixture, like this mixture of Christianity and like hair. So to them, they believe that they're like idol worshippers too. They made us believe that white garment churches, they worship angels and so on and so forth. So I had that mentality. So I didn't like relating with them. I saw them as all these fetish people, you know. But what made me leave Redeem to Sele, what I thought they told us was bad, was because I had my first relationship then, and then it did not end well. So I was heartbroken. So I was going through a lot, So and then I was just by the roadside one day, and one woman in white, a Celestial member, she, like a prophetess, and she gave me some messages. I'm like, this is the first time I'm hearing something like this. Can God actually pass messages across from another human to another, without even prayers? I didn't ask her for advice. I didn't tell her I had any sort of problems. And she gave me some messages, and I'm like, this is, I connect with this, And she invited me to her church. Then I was living in Ikorodu. There's this parish.
What made you believe those messages were genuine?
Because it was genuine, because it talked about me. Like,
it was very specific to your specific situation.
Exactly, and she didn't know me. I've never met her before. I didn't really tell anyone my problems, So I'm like, I was actually shocked. Though growing up, my mom, she's very spiritual. But there's a difference between going to a spiritualist and saying, oh, pray for me this, and they give you messages, not like you're like by the roadside and somebody's giving you some messages and you're wondering,
the difference is the first one.
This is the Aruoma style vlog.
If you're ever feeling really stupid, just remember, some people are waiting for this to happen. Let me in. Why? So I can save you. From what? From what I'm gonna do to you if you don't let me in. Fist me, bro. Fist me. If you're ever
make us turn away from the way of the Lord, because they understand the truth, because they understand that Jesus Christ is the truth, the way, the truth, and life. No one comes to the Father except through Him, and that is why they are trying to. They're trying so hard. The kingdom of darkness right now, they're having lots of agents. If you understand from the way the video started, the very first one, it started with how she wanted people to understand that we have to go back to our traditional ways. But we have to understand that the traditional ways, I'm not going to criticize it, but I'm going to let us understand the fact that the traditional ways, they have passed. We understand that there was colonialism. We understand that there was slavery. There's still slavery till today. But why is it that the fact that the attack is all coming to the body of Christ. Why is it that people want to turn away? And if you understand from the other person, you see that she had a relationship in the church. Probably it was a sexual relationship of which she's not supposed to do. She got her heart broken, of which that propelled her to stay away from the church, or probably trying to find a new meaning to spiritual life. And the third one, you see, people trying to debunk that, we are waiting for the Christ. Yes, we are waiting, because we understand that heaven is real and hell is real. If you ask them, give an alternative, they don't. And if you try to see their life, they are miserable. They want us to be miserable the way they are miserable. Please, brother, don't be deceived. Please, sister, don't be deceived. Encourage yourself in the Lord. That is what we have. The only weapon we have is Jesus Christ. And in fact, when you lose it, you're done. When you lose Christ, you're done. And that is what these people, they want right now. They want to lead people away from Christ so they can be in harm's way. Heresy is introduction of new doctrines to divide believers from new groups and form new groups. You understand? To form new groups. What apostasy? This is apostasy. This is a typical example of apostasy. Apostasy is moving from one doctrinal position to another. If you understand the second girl, she has seen how the family has been practicing the idolatry tradition. I do not discriminate their tradition, but I believe God will visit them. Jesus will visit them. If you have an encounter, you will understand. If you have an encounter, you will understand. You will not be able. If you don't want to be in the Christian gathering, you will be fighting the encounter, but the encounter will pull you in. When we understand nowadays that there are forces, there are powers. The Epstein file will give you a typical understanding that people are doing sacrifices. Human sacrifices. I don't want to say too much, but people are doing sacrifices. And that is enough for you to understand where we are going to in this particular time and day. Remember, don't be deceived. Don't be deceived. Guard your heart, from which comes this where comes the issue of life, your spiritual life, your physical life. People see the light in you. Guard your heart. Please do well to like, to share, and to subscribe. Please, until next time, because I don't want the video to be long. Maybe someday we'll start doing the video reaction, but today try, like, subscribe, like, and comment on the this comment section. Jesus is Lord. If this message resonates with you, comment Jesus is Lord. Thank you. Peace out, and we'll see you on the next reaction. Thank you.